Whether it's cat mates, demon mates, or dragon mates, we got it all here at Between Nerds. I'm here with my co-host, Drew Elias.
Hey guys, Drew Philip Elias here, co-host of Between Nerds podcast. We are also here with friend of the pod, Mr. J. Alejandro Garcia. What's up, buddy?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You are here to talk about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid with us. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Well, before we get into that conversation, I just want to do some housekeeping notes at the forefront of this episode. Please use hashtag anti-trafficking-nerds in original tweet or Instagram post to be automatically entered into our March giveaway. And for every like and retweet on tweets or Instagram posts using hashtag anti-trafficking-nerds, we will be donating to the Paso del Norte Center of Hope, which is an organization that helps reintegrate victims of human trafficking.
Yes, and we haven't gotten any interaction with it, so please use it and you will be, you will have a lot of chances to win this month. If not, we're going to double down on next month and get something even more spicy, something even more juicy, something more
Why don't we
nerdy.
have any entries, Jay?
I'm not too sure, but I'm about to do it, so don't let me win this one.
You're about to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, another 13 episode actually, no OVA. I thought it was a lot of fun compared to last week.
I thought Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid was maybe the most fun we've had since Konosuba, maybe. It's maybe the only Yuri we've seen, besides maybe Madoka Magica.
Yes.
But Jay, explain to me what Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is about.
It's really about these two, do I say lesbians?
Are they? What do you think?
I'm just assuming. I'm not too sure. Don't cancel me. But Toru and Miss Kobayashi have this, special relationship between them. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's kind of slice of lifey, but it's barely fantasy to the point that it just adds a little bit of fun to the narrative.
Yes, and I feel that the narrative or the theme here of, the title says it by itself, is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Miss Kobayashi, really cool girl, really cool, down to earth, almost Gretsuko-like.
Yeah, and she's an accountant. She's middle-aged office worker. Mm-hmm. She works really hard. She's really tired, and she gets big hammered off hours. So the premise here is she gets drunk by herself after a stressful night at work and just finds a dragon in the forest and rescues this dragon by pulling a magical sword out of her.
Very mean drunk, Miss Kobayashi.
Yeah,
which is cool.
She gets that Asian flush real bad, and she's all over the place. But it's I guess they are lesbians, but they're not lesbians because it's a Yuri in a sense that it's girl love, right? It's a girl love anime, right. But the funniest piece of dialogue for me, maybe in this whole anime, is in episode 1, where the dragon Toru, the Dragon Maid, she's just super obsessed with Miss Kobayashi from the very beginning, from episode 1, and we have no idea why. And Miss Kobayashi is super standoffish, and she's like, I don't like women or dragons. Get away from me. And then you just hear Toru say, well, that doesn't matter because I want you sexually anyways.
Yeah.
And that's just the theme of the whole anime is just Toru is just trying to get close to Miss Kobayashi, and Miss Kobayashi is just trying to push her away.
Jay, did you watch last week with us? Did you watch Dead Man Wonderland?
I've seen Dead Man Wonderland, yes.
Yeah.
Do you like Dead Man Wonderland?
I did like Dead Man Wonderland. It's not that good, but I enjoyed watching it.
But what did you like about it?
I like all the gore. That's what I was into.
But it's not even well animated gore. Well, what me and Aldo were trying to talk about last night when I was over here is that we felt, or I feel like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid does more in the same amount of episodes that Dead Man Wonderland couldn't accomplish. Because Dead Man Wonderland was famously canceled halfway through its season. The plot structure is kind of all over the place. There's no the overarching themes and Ganta's what's driving him. It's never consistent throughout, right? Mm-hmm. But Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, it feels a lot more flushed out story. It comes full circle, and I guess me and Aldo just have Dead Man Wonderland on the mind because we've been getting a bunch of shit for last week's episode.
Really?
Valentin was kind of mad at us because we said it was bad anime. it's anime. We like it, but it's at the bottom list of what we've seen. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It was painful for me to watch. Like in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, I love the way of the progressive writing. I mean, already it's going to be about female love, but I love the progressive writing as far as that something as ridiculous of a dragon magical maid. The premise of that, it's nice because towards the middle of this show, you're like watching a lesbian couple going about their day.
Basically,
and that's why it's like a slice of life. Like it's fantasy because they're dragons, but it's just about them going about their everyday. It's about taking Kana to school. It's about Toru cleaning. It's about Miss Kobayashi going to work, and it's really sweet. It's really funny. The animation quality's there because there's just like those few episodes where they'll just go out of their way to just give some big Sakuga explosions just to like show off a little bit.
It's very nice. I appreciate all that shit.
Definitely really well animated.
The first fight, like when we meet Kana, because Kana is like a mystery character, like in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But yes, like you were saying, Drew, the premise is that Miss Kobayashi got super drunk. She pretty much invited a dragon to be her maid or to stay at her house.
Right.
Now
and she doesn't even remember this. Like, episode 1 starts, she's super hungover. She doesn't remember what she did last night, and this dragon just shows up on her front door.
And it's funny because we were talking about, we don't get how being a maid is so tropey over there.
Yeah.
But I guess there is a nerdom or community around, like maid nerdom.
Yeah, the maid cafes, don't they have those over in Japan?
Yeah, and they're very popular and stuff like that. But until I watched this anime, I'm like, that's right. There is a whole community around like maid-like characters.
Because that's the issue in episode 1 too. Because Toru is dressed like a maid, but she's not dressed like a real maid. She's dressed like somebody that's cosplaying as a maid. Because she copied her costume off of somebody from a maid cafe.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's this whole anime is just like those warm fuzzies all over. Like every episode has like the most like low stakes kind of problem that they're trying to accomplish. There's episodes where there's a bento cooking competition. There's episodes that are just about like trying to play inside of a park with magical dragon powers, but they keep having to, because they keep destroying everything, they keep having to reshape everything. And I like this a lot, and I didn't even realize it was Kyoto Animation. Because Kyoto Animation, I think, was like before the terrorist attack on their studio by an ex-employee. It was this was the kind of thing they always make, just super upbeat, super just like an easy watch kind of anime.
Yeah, and it's and even the intro and some of the character designs, it reminds me a lot of Konosuba, a lot of Rent a Girlfriend. It's very nice. Jay, what do you like about it?
About this anime specifically?
You recommended it.
Because I think it's really cute and wholesome. And I don't know how this doesn't sound, but I just live for those like wholesome moments in the animes. They really gave me like teary, like seeing Kana and Toru. I don't know. Kana's my favorite character for sure out of the whole anime.
The lolly?
The little lolly, yeah. Yeah, the little lolly.
What's the issue with lollies in anime?
I don't know. I don't know what the issue. I don't have an issue.
Well, it is an issue, but yeah. Kana is this lolly, and for people that are not familiar with the term, lolly is a underage character in anime, right?
Well, it's based off of the term Lolita, which is the super famous book by I don't even remember what it's called. Is the book literally called Lolita?
Yes.
Because Lolita was a book about an underage sex worker, I think, right?
Okay.
So I guess in Japanese anime they're trying to like reshape that image, because Kana, as the lolly character here, she's not she's just cute, you know what I mean? Like, a lolly's almost like an inappropriate term, even though that's what you would call it.
Correct.
Because she's not like really
sexualized.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They do keep it kind of innocent and PG with her.
Completely. That's what's, it's really cute. She's really cute.
In the other hand, like for example in Konosuba, like Megumin, she is a lolly character, but they do kind of like sexualize her more.
Yeah.
Which is a little off-putting.
And that's the thing about anime. Like, we've been talking about this since, like, episode 2 of this podcast. Like, there's just, like... there's just these really weird, like, red flags about, like, Japanese culture and how they treat, like, young girls. It's almost like it's a joke, almost, but it's not a joke because it's an underage character.
Yeah. It's, very, like...
It's a serious issue that they're joking on, like...
Yeah, well, Jay's basically the one who taught me how to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yes.
So all my first regionals that I went to...
He lost the past 2 times he's been playing, so...
I won last Tuesday.
Okay. He got second place his first time back. It was really good, right?
Yeah. But Aldo doesn't appreciate me, so it doesn't matter. I'm bringing that up because one time we were going to Fort Worth for a regional, and you were talking about No Game, No Life with me.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a really popular...
I heard about it.
It's a really popular anime about like them just playing like... It's like a video game almost.
They're all just... Everything's a game.
Every game's... It's like, oh, to protect somebody's life, you gotta play chess or something, and you gotta beat... like gods and angels at card games or something. It's like
there's stakes involved in everything.
What's that gambling anime?
The one on Netflix you're talking about?
Yeah.
That one's like, isn't that real fan servicey? I've never seen it. I've just heard about it.
Yeah, but it's like that premise where they're just playing games for everything.
Yeah, literally everything.
But I bring that up in No Game, No Life. There's a really it's really off-putting. And I'm not going to recommend No Game, No Life to anybody, really, because there's a lolly character that is hypersexualized. And it
goes further than that. Like, they're brother and sister, like, in the... So, that's what they say.
And this is a really popular anime, so...
Yeah, I feel like in Japanese anime, creators or editors or whatever you want to call it, they take more liberties as far as to... pick at like taboo fetishism. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's what's funny about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, because in like episode 1 or episode 2, where Toru is cleaning Miss Kobayashi's laundry but with her mouth, it's like how Austin Powers was like, you could take a kid to see it because they're not understand the language that's being used.
Correct.
Because Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid looks super innocent, and you hear Toru describing to Miss Kobayashi about her eating her laundry, and you almost don't understand why Miss Kobayashi's mad at her. It obviously we know, but if you were like a kid, you'd be like, oh, what's the big deal about that?
She said that her saliva kills bacteria. It's like, what is she supposed to do?
Yeah, she said she wanted to eat her panties, and that's how she was going to clean them.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
But and that's what's hilarious about Toru's character. She's just like big horny for like her lesbian roommate.
Yes.
Yeah, she tries to feed her the tail. She's like, "You're not gonna eat my meat?" Like come on.
Yeah. So that's a running gag. Every time Toru cooks, she tries to throw in some of her tail meat because it grows back. Yeah. But it's like Midsommar, where that girl tries to get the guy to eat her pubes.
Yeah.
And that's how she's going to fall in love with her.
Period soup.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like what Toru was trying to do to Miss Kobayashi almost, by getting her to eat her tail meat.
Yeah, because like the innocence of her being a dragon and not human, she doesn't get these like double entendres kind of situations that she puts out there. But it's really fun. I've had a lot of fun watching it because right off the back, the Dragon Maid Toru, she is infatuated with Miss Kobayashi.
Yeah, and whenever we get flashbacks of Toru when she was like a hard-ass dragon in the other universe, she's super mean, you know what I mean? And it's almost funny that Miss Kobayashi turned this mean-ass dragon super sweet and nice. And that's where, like you were saying, we get the Kana character, who's just like the young girl, but she followed Toru from this other universe that the dragons are from because Toru was running away from home or something. She was like expelled from Dragon Society. Yeah,
very weird. And then we see Kana confronting Miss Kobayashi, and it's like, oh, look, you have to let her free, blah blah blah. She has to go back, and
she doesn't even realize that Toru wants to be there, and she wants to be. And that's like another kink or fetish too, because Toru wants to be under Miss Kobayashi. Like, she wants to call her master.
Yeah, she's being dominated. She's a
little bit like Darkness in Konosuba, but not really.
Kind of. Yeah. It's a lot like... honestly, out of everything we've seen, I really think Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid has the most in common with Konosuba.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It's not...
It's like low-stakes fantasy, because it's almost so not fantasy, it's slice of life, but it still is fantasy.
Yeah, and after Kana gets introduced, they actually like move out of the apartment from the first episodes. They move into a second apartment, to a bigger apartment.
Yeah, they're really just like this woman couple and their daughter moving into a 3-bedroom apartment. Which is
a plot point. Were you gonna say something, Jay?
No.
Which is something that you don't really see a lot in big arcing animes, is like somebody moving.
Yeah.
And the episode wants you to know that they're making a decision to move out of that place, which is really cool, because at this point, like I was telling you, is like it almost tricks you into watching something progressive.
Yeah. And it's not even like fake progressive like in American media. Because... I feel like if this were like an American TV show, there would be no plot that's them just living their lives being happy. It would be a fake drama narrative about
struggle and the prejudice and all that stuff.
And it's like more progressive that it's not focusing on that.
Absolutely, yeah. And
they're just living their life, like nothing more to it.
Girl love allows you to live your life like normal too.
And I feel like the fantasy factor that they throw in there, I mean, it's it's just a better way to have the conversation of like there's girl on girl love out there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this is like more upfront about it than even Madoka Magica was, because Madoka Magica, they were middle schoolers, so it was like how what's her name, Kana and her little girlfriend, they're not it's like innocent love, you know what I mean? It's like hard eyes and they get embarrassed around each other. But Madoka Magica was almost like they're not even sure about their feelings because they're children and they're super sobby and crying about it, but they're trying so hard to protect each other. And this one, we don't even get a sense of that until like the last episode. Because the first 12 episodes 1 through 12 are just about like introducing additional dragon friends and just showing like the quirks of these dragons and monsters trying to be acclimated into human society.
Just quickly going back to like when they moved, I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind when that happened was like, wow, how much does Miss Kobayashi make that she just immediately was like, let me just move into a 3-room apartment, like, and bring in all her girlfriend, well, not her girlfriend, but you know, Toru and Kana. I was like, damn.
I thought that too, because her work best friend Makoto is he has an apartment to himself too, but it's super small and cramped. It's one of those like he sleeps in the living room kind of Japanese apartments, like a studio but even smaller. And I had that exact same thought. I was just like, she got a girlfriend and was able to get a new apartment the next week.
Immediately.
And for the people that haven't seen Agretsuko, it's very relatable. Even though Miss Kobayashi is a girl, a female character, I kind of related to her at some points, you know?
Every episode I was like, I'm Miss Kobayashi. Because like... She's tired from working her job with her mean-ass boss. She's got a bad back. And she just wants to get big drunk after work. Yeah. It sounds like every average 20-year-old I've ever...
It sounds like every other day for me. But it's really fun. Like I said, those moments that it brings me into Agretsuko, like her at the office and stuff like that. It's nice. I don't know why I find it fascinating to see a glimpse of not American culture.
No, I love it. It's because even I was always... I like the way their second apartment is set up, because there's a hallway between the front door and the kitchen with like doors on each side, and it's just where like they're walking in and putting their shoes on, because they're like a lot cleaner and they're stepping on the floor barefoot and stuff like that. And even besides that, when we get Kana, the young dragon, starts going to like elementary school. So that's like more introduction to Japanese culture that I wasn't.
I love that entire that entire sequence of getting her what she needs for school. Like even the uniform store.
Yep.
Because you don't see that over here in the United States, but like in Juarez, you do see this. You see stores specifically that make the uniforms for, you know, the format that the schools want them.
They do in El Paso, but only for elementary and middle schools. Except in this anime, they show it like the opposite. Like the elementary schoolers get to wear whatever they want to school, but then by middle school and high school, I guess they'd be wearing uniforms. But I'm sorry.
Any fun fact? You know, like those jackets that they wear in middle school, those black jackets with the buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
In Japan, apparently, if you they give the second to from top to bottom button, they give it to somebody they like at the end of the school year or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
How do you know that?
I don't know, from some video on TikTok. So
just randomly. That's cute.
Oh, I can't remember what I was gonna say. I had a super awesome point. Now I have no idea.
Kana going to school.
Kana's going to school. Wow, I have no idea what point I was gonna make.
Giving buttons.
But we so we meet Kana's new school friend Riko, and it's just like this little girl who's absolutely obsessed with Kana. Like every time Kana almost like rubs her face against her, like she freaks out, and like it's just like that super anime like love scene where it's just like she's got hard eyes and she's just screaming about how much she's
just melting over the fact that you know that that's happening. And you know what, man? Like I don't know. I now that I'm gonna be a dad anytime soon, it gives me some comfort to know that there's some like anime like this. If I had a baby girl that might be confused of what her sexuality might be, I'm glad that there's something sweet and light like this to be put out there to have the conversation. You know?
Yeah.
Not even just that. Like this is anime that any kid can watch, and like you're not like it's nothing bad about it.
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's like this almost feels like wow, Love is War.
Yes.
Because like the most they ever do is like hold hands or I guess hug in this situation. They don't even do anything sort of intimate, which is like what's funny about it almost, because it's not like I don't know. But from episode 1, you almost think like maybe it would be a little bit more edgy because right away they're talking about like, oh, I'm trying to have sex with you, Miss Kobayashi. And
just because of the way Toru is, but there's really not much else, like you said, aside from the holding hands, like, and that's not even bad at all.
No, yeah, very like mundane and stuff, and like you said, it's more progressive to the writing is more progressive to not put them in a predicament. Maybe towards the end of the season with the dad and stuff, maybe it gets a little bit like that. But yeah, I completely agree with you when you said that. Just the writing, just having it out there like that, like regular life, it's more progressive than if you were just to put, you know,
bless. Thank you.
You know, the gay couple in the cliche, you know, scenario.
Yeah,
you know.
And we I don't even know where the narrative goes from here. We're just learning more about Toru's friends because we learn that she's calling like this goth dragon on the phone, and every time she asks him for advice about what's his name?
I forget his name, but he's just telling her to like destroy the humans and like, just kill him. Yeah.
She'll be calling Fafnir for advice and just be like, Fafnir, I don't know what to do. Murder all humanity.
Yeah.
Fafnir's a really cool character.
Or we learn what's her name? Quetzalcoatl?
Oh, like,
there's like an ex-demon lord dragon character, and probably one of the best episodes in the beginning is just this scene in a field between Toru and Kana, and they're just doing a big giant Sakuga anime fight. But what's funny about it is because they're doing giant laser beams and explosions that makes Miss Kobayashi uncomfortable. So she tells them like, "No, guys, fight like how I would fight."
Before you get there, before you get to the funny part, dude, just the fucking fighting scene alone.
Oh yeah, Kana did the Kamehameha.
Kana and Toru just sparring a little bit, just fooling around. Like, I even tweeted it, and you saw that I tweeted a little gif about it. But dude, that shit is crazy. I was like, dude, fucking Dead Man Wonderland would never fucking do this, bro. It was such a like whoa of like
just a jump in expectation because it's like they weren't animating anything, and then all of a sudden it's just like we're just gonna show off for a second.
It was really good.
I don't know. I want to shit on Dead Man Wonderland some more for a little second.
Keep shitting on it?
Yeah, because I don't get how everyone's so mad at our take about it. Because, bro, it was literally so unpopular that Man Globe went bankrupt because they made no money off of the show. And they were fucking up the creation of the season so much and were dropping so many characters and plot lines that they couldn't even follow up on the manga if people were watching because they just cut a bunch of shit. So for them to continue the season, it would have even made sense because the plot couldn't continue anymore. And
to go from something like that to the same amount of episodes, 13 episodes of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, it's like I want to shit on it a little bit more because something as ridiculous as Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is more. It has a lot more to offer.
I just really think it's because like if people watch something on Toonami, they're just convinced that it's great, and I don't know why. Because every dub that Toonami picks up is at least somewhat popular, even if the actual anime itself is garbage. And I think it's weird that you can't be critical of it without people getting upset with you. And it seems like that retort to our critiques aren't even about anything solid. It's like, well, I don't know. I saw it 11 years ago, and I liked it.
I like the anime. It's just, I don't know. I like bad anime, too, but I would never defend it. Like, Naruto, for example. I'm a huge Naruto fan, but I'm not going to sit here and, like, tell you Naruto's, like, one of the greatest animes ever. Or Darling in the Franxx. Like, I love Darling.
But we like Darling in the Franxx, too, though.
But it's not that good, though.
No, even though it's bad...
At least there's, like, original aspects to it. Like, there's stuff that you can decide that you like.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know. Dead Man Wonderland is just like, oh, they say bad words, and there's
blood everywhere, and that's it. Yeah. It has really nothing to offer. And, like, with this anime, thanks for the recommendation, by the way. I never seen this before. This was pretty fun for me. It's something that if I'm at the bar and somebody's like, hey, have you seen Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid? I'm like, fuck yeah, I've seen Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Because it's so fun. It's so light.
It's fun. It's not too long. Like, you can binge it. Like, it's just a perfect amount of, like, the time frame for anyone to watch and really enjoy.
And then it seems like this episode that we're recording right now probably won't get as many downloads as, like, last week's. Because what I'm noticing is what I tend to think some of our best episodes don't get downloaded as much because it's not a big anime title that everyone can recognize. Mm-hmm. Because I love our Your Lie in April episode. That thing got like no downloads, especially like the first month it was out. And that one's like, you hear Aldo cry like 3 times, you hear me upset, and it's
a touching episode and it just didn't get any traction.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is it almost wants you to have that cool, like it just gets your feels up because it's just so sweet.
Mm-hmm. And it's not as easy to watch as, say, for example, Konosuba, because there is some...
Have you seen Konosuba?
Not all of it, but I have seen some.
Have you seen most of season 1 though?
Yeah.
You think it's funny, right?
Yeah, it's really funny.
Why did you finish it? Funny? No, I think it's hilarious.
Oh, I was like, you tell me like it's not funny.
It's probably the funniest thing we've ever seen.
I think it's really funny.
No, it's fucking rare. I'm just saying that it has some substance that you need to pay attention for in Miss Kobayashi's, at least, because it's not all fun and games like Konosuba is. It's actually trying to show you something, and which is my next point. After Kana comes into the picture and we take her to school and stuff like that. Just that relationship alone with her little friend. What's her name?
Something with an R. Her name is Riko.
It's really cool. It's really sweet to see that Kana cares for humans.
Mm-hmm. Because you hear Toru talk about humans, and she's like, pathetic humans. You're an inferior species. This is that, and then. That's funny too, because you'll see Toru talking to herself, calling all humans garbage and like a waste of space, and then Miss Kobayashi will be in the background being like, "What did you just say about humans?"
She just loses it.
And I like man, fucking Toro when she gets upset or jealous and she gets those fucking like claws,
come out,
or little animations where her face gets fucking angry and she starts trying to drag it out on that guy because she gets jealous of the guy, of the friend
who's just like a huge fucking nerd.
Yeah, and I like his animations that they switch him out to like the little bug teeth and with like big old glasses.
Yeah, and it's Mr. Takia. We get this scene in like episode 1 where Kobayashi and Takia go out to the bar and they're just either talking about work, which is like fucking accounting figures or whatever they're doing, or they're computing or something, or they're just talking about what it means to be a cosplaying maid, and they'll talk about being a goth Lolita with a tribal fix, or
the butlers, and like how what were they saying about cosplay and like the like maid, like the way that they dress, like by combining, they gotta respect each other or something like that.
Yeah.
They get into a little rant in the first time that they go out drinking. They're like, "Oh, she's trying to portray herself as a, I don't know, like a playful maid," and then, "Oh yeah, but that's not the traditional maid," and they have like this nerdy back and forth, and you can tell from their relationship, and they go drinking, and again, very Agretsuko like. But yes, we see that Toro is learning almost like how to get with Miss Kobayashi, almost
what she likes and how to
exactly
really get her to
she's seducing her by learning her as a person.
Because as far as we know that from the drunk date that they had in the first episode, is that she picked maid because she's into maids.
Yeah, just because Miss Kobayashi is just obsessed with maids.
Yeah.
So it's like cosplay fetishing all over again.
Exactly. So Tora shows up, is like, "Well, you told me to show up as a maid." It's like, "What do you want me to do?"
Well, real quick, going back to the Konosuba, it's hard for me to find animes that I think are funny. Like, do you have a lot of animes that you think that make you actually laugh? Like, aside from Konosuba, I just had Konosuba and Baka and Test. I don't know if you guys have seen Baka and Test.
What's the plot to Baka and Test?
Literally just like these animals that are going to school, and then they have like battles in between their grades, and the battles aren't even like, it's nothing serious. Like, I don't know why, it's just
Food Wars is funny.
Yeah.
I think Food Wars is funny, but
I think the first season of FLCL was funny.
Yeah, that is.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I think Kill la Kill's hilarious. Sorry, I'm just going. I just googled funny anime and I'm just going through this list.
I haven't seen Kill la Kill.
I think Kill la Kill's hilarious, but it's exactly like Gurren Lagann.
I never watched Gurren Lagann either, so I'll be watching.
Konosuba's funny. Dragon Maid is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Rent a Girlfriend, it's funny, but Domestic Girlfriend, it's spicy, which makes me laugh even more.
Yeah, Domestic Girlfriend doesn't think it's funny.
Yeah, it's not trying to be funny,
but it's
funny.
But
it's
the spicy,
so cringy.
Yeah, like the drama peaks that hits. You're like, oh shit! You're just like laughing out of like how spicy it is, but it's not trying to be funny.
Yeah, because Domestic Girlfriend, it's just like any situation or any scenario with like the main character, and it's just like, could he not be a piece of shit, or is he gonna be a fuckboy? He always chooses like the fuckboy thing to do, which is like he's gonna like fuck his stepsister again and then like pretend it didn't happen the next day, which is like absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Wait, that really happened? He fucked his stepsister?
Yeah, dude, it's...
You don't know the plot to Domestic Girlfriend?
No, I don't.
Oh my god. So
that sounds horrible.
Domestic Girlfriend starts off with just this guy's like just hanging out after school with some friends and girls from a different school, and out of nowhere one of the girls is just like, hey, let's go to my apartment. And so they have sex just because she wanted to lose her virginity, right? And like she thinks she's never gonna see him again. So then like half a scene later, he's hanging out with his dad, and the dad's like, oh, I got married and I want you to meet my new wife and her daughters. And it turns out like his new stepsisters are the girl he lost his virginity to and like his teacher that he's in love with.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it just ramps up. It just ramps up from there, and you're just laughing at all the situations.
It's just just this one horny dude trying to and not fuck his stepsisters. Like,
that sounds horrible, but it makes me feel better about watching. Have you seen Arrow Manga Sensei?
Yeah.
That's such a...
It's not good.
That's such a horrible...
It's not good.
It's not good. Don't watch it.
Fucking horny nerds.
I don't know what's up with these nerds.
I don't know, but... Or like, they have so many animes like that. Like, have you seen Citrus?
I've heard of Citrus.
Don't watch that either. It's just a bunch of...
But, I guess, Dragon Maid, it's... I don't know. I like... I want to go back to shit on fucking Deadman Wonderland because how good
we can't stop bringing it up.
Because how good Dragon Maid was. And
just not happy for the studio. They did something better, right?
Not comparing it to Deadman Wonderland anymore, but I wouldn't say it's a must watch, but it's fucking watchable, bro.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that we haven't even talked about, because there's, like, a beach episode where all the dragons are together, and Quetzalcoatl, like, the joke about her is that she's got these ginormous tits, because Miss Kobayashi, in the first couple episodes, will be yelling at Toru, being like, why are your boobs so big? How big are they? And Toru would just be like, well, they're deep, they're dragon. Yeah. And then, so we get this Quetzalcoatl character who's, like, a Triple H fucking cup size. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And she's just harassing like this little boy, like an 8-year-old boy throughout the whole anime by just being like hot and wearing no clothing around him and making him uncomfortable.
Yeah, so part of the premise too is that some of Toru's friends, Dragon's friends, are worried about her. So they also come to the human world to live. So one of them, the guy... He figures Fafnir figures out a way to move in with the fucking nerd, Kobayashi's coworker,
yeah.
And they play video games all the time. And then the big titty girl, what's her name?
Quetzalcoatl.
She stops this little kid from summoning a demon, so she gets summoned instead. And
no, because he is the child of a medium family. Of like a ghost hunting family. So her, as a magical dragon, she can hear his bad incantation. So that's why he gets scared, because she pops up and he thinks that she's an actual demon. But really, she's just there to fuck with him.
Yeah, and she just needs a reason to stay on Earth, to, like, live there. So, yeah, she just, like...
fucking with this little kid for fun.
Literally, like, just blue-balling the shit out of this little kid. by pretending she's a succubi. Well,
he calls her a succubus. Get out of here, succubus! And she's just like, fuck. She's just like, there's a lot of like scenes of him dreaming while she's hugging him, because like her boobs are just like crushing his face. He's imagining being crushed by like a mountain or something.
Yeah,
and she really plays along with it. That one episode, she has a mask on and she's like, "Get out of here! Get out of here!"
He says that all the time.
Something at him.
Yeah.
Because after the beach episode with everybody, where Quetzalcoatl has to like put on 3 different bathing suits because she's just being too revealing, we get like a sports festival episode with the kids. So it's Kana and that Rico chick and Shouta. That's the little boy's name that Quetzalcoatl is harassing.
Shouta, yeah.
And it's like cute and nothing happens, but the episode stands out to me because it's just Kana trying her best, and she's super powered because she's a dragon and she could cheat if she wanted to, but like she's still trying to hold back. It's like The Incredibles.
Yeah, she was really trying not to. Oh yeah, like the little kid when he's like running fast and he starts to run slower. Like, she's really trying not to.
It's exactly like The Incredibles. Yeah. And just a little bit before that, again, this is one of the spots in the series where the progressive writing pops out to me, because now at this point, you're seeing a family going through this little girl, Kana, being excited about that sports festival. Like, she wants Miss Kobayashi there, and she wants her to be proud of her. Like, it's just these little glimpses at the slice of life while seeing something with a Dragon Maid. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fluent. It flows really good.
Yeah, because all these episodes are super low stakes. You know what I mean? Like, like a manga convention / anime festival that they help out the nerdy guy and Fafnir sell like a bunch of books, and there's episodes
Yeah, because
where
nothing too serious.
they play volleyball.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the one that you said with the convention, because Toru wants to feel more. She wants to feel a little bit more free, so she decides to let some of her dragon show.
Yeah.
So
and everyone thinks she's cosplaying.
She's just cosplaying, yeah.
And everybody's taking a picture of her, and it's a nice moment for her because she can be more of herself in this world.
And I mean, throughout the anime, like she's a really nice character. Like you can see in the first episodes when she goes to buy the food or whatever, and like everyone's giving her free stuff and like hooking her up. I don't even remember what she did for them for them to give her the free food, and
she's just friendly.
She was just really friendly.
She was just friendly with everybody at the little shopping mart, because even Miss Kobayashi was kind of pretentious about it. She's like, "No, let's go do grocery shopping at the big store. Mart. I don't want to go to the little shopping center."
Yeah. But
when they go, everyone knows the weird dragon cosplayer, so they're just handing her free tickets and stuff.
And then what'd she do? She beat up that one guy who was trying. Did he steal something?
He stole a purse from an old lady.
He stole a purse from an old lady.
Oh, yeah.
So she uses her dragon superpowers to punch him in the face.
And she was so scared because everyone was looking at her, and she's like, "Oh my god, they're gonna know that like."
Yeah, and at the beginning, you think that's a risk of like people finding out that this person has like dragon powers, but like in the middle of the season, it's just like fuck it, she's a dragon, everybody knows it.
Yeah, because. I don't know. We get a dragon character named Elma, and she just starts working at Miss Kobayashi's office. And she's introduced last, but she's like the least exciting character, because we see this like fifth dragon in the opening song sequence, and we don't even meet her until like episode 10. But she's funny because she's just being like beat up by life, because she's like a huge dork and she just wants to eat, but she's always just... like, she's bad at her job once she starts working in the office, and everyone hates her secretly, and she has nowhere to live. And you see her trying to, like, sucker Miss Kobayashi into letting her stay at the apartment, and Miss Kobayashi just doesn't let her. She's just the comedic relief because Elma's just getting beat up on.
Yeah, and the comedic relief for, like, an episode or two, because the next 2 episodes, it's about homophobia.
When?
At its hardest.
Homophobia? Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
The Republican?
The Republican Dragon Dad.
Yeah.
I think it's smart writing, because they don't come out and say, like, hey, the dad's mad because she's in a relationship or something. It's just the dad's pretending to be mad because Toru, his daughter, isn't doing what he expects of her. Like, she's not being a chaotic dragon in this other fantasy world. She just wants to live with her girlfriend and her adopted daughter.
Who's a human.
Yeah.
You know?
And it feels like it could be a daytime television teen drama, with the way the dad's just like, no, you can't go be happy with your girlfriend. You have to come be sad and angry with your dad.
At the farm. At the family farm. Yeah, the dragon farm.
Send her off to Dr. Phil.
Yeah, Toru decides to go back to her dad in episode 11, right? Or episode 12?
13. It's all episode 13. And that's what I mean. Like, the way the episodes are shaped, like, they can fit a whole narrative in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Because the beginning of episode 13 is Toru just gets up and leaves because her dad, the Emperor of Demise, just tells her that she's got to go to the other world with him. So then she does that, and the rest of the episode's just Miss Kobayashi being sad and realizing how much she really does need Toru back in her life.
Mm-hmm. And it's very, female love-like. It's very, it's like...
very sweet.
This person is missing her other person.
Yeah. And we get another half fight between the Emperor of Demise and Toru, but it just turns into like the end of a Naruto fight where...
Matsaki out of it?
Yeah, the Taka no Jutsu. Mm-hmm. Miss Kobayashi just convinces Toru's dad not to be a dick. And that's like the end of the season, which is cool because it's true to the writing that we've established that it's super low stakes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's cool that Miss Kobayashi's finally like admitting to everyone, like, no, like, Toru's mine. No one can take her from me.
Yeah, and it's very nice and hot and touching, and I like that you compared it to Love is War, because Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid feels like a lot of episodes when Dead Man Wonderland felt like 3 long episodes. It felt like an episode where his classmates got killed. It felt an episode where he was playing obstacle course in prison, and then it felt like Prison Break, and that's what it feels like. You can't really put it into a lot of fucking episodes, and it's good. It's great. Dead Man Wonderland sucks.
Don't watch Dead Man Wonderland. That's the name of this episode. Don't watch Dead Man Wonderland.
Watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
But very good. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid season 2 is coming out soon. July. I'm excited for that. I want to watch it.
Have they said how many episodes?
No, but it's probably going to be another 12, 13 episodes.
I wonder how far, like, after, like, this is.
Maybe we should read the manga and figure out. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe Kanna's a teenager or something now. Like,
whoa! No, they'll never get rid of her being a lolly.
Oh,
so, final thoughts on Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
Watch it and don't watch Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah. If you can get anything out of this episode, please don't watch Dead Man Wonderland.
Don't waste your
Subscribe to the channel Between Nerds. Please, if you're listening, just hit that subscribe button. We need to know who's listening. Please follow us on Twitter at Between Nerds, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anywhere. Please email us at betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com.
On your Funimation account, give a negative review for Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah, so we can get it out of here pretty
and on
soon.
Crunchyroll.
And on Crunchyroll.
So you guys want to do the Nerd Down?
Nerd down.
Nerd Down.
Nerd Down.
Welcome to the Nerd Down, nerds. Thank you for joining us on episode 37. Episode 7 of season 2
Of Between Nerds Podcast.
Oh, Between Nerds Podcast. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That was great. It was better than last week. Guys, what'd you guys think?
I thought this episode was great. I'm more excited for next week or whenever we get around to it. So you might, or VNA's are probably going to give birth either Wednesday or Thursday, and we might be at a production delay depending on like what's going on, because you're going to have a newborn and you're going to have all these new responsibilities and you're going to be super busy. But whenever we're back on it, we're going to be watching Gurren Lagann, which is like probably my favorite Studio Gainax production, and it's what led Mr. Hiroyuki Imaishi to leave Studio Gainax to create Studio Trigger. And Studio Trigger has made things like Kill la Kill and SSSS Gridman and like a bunch of really cool shit. So
Well overdue. I mean, Gurren Lagann is it's a classic. I'm afraid it's not gonna age well.
But have you ever seen it at all, though?
I've seen it in pieces.
So then why would you think that?
Huh?
What would make you think that?
Because I thought it was cool before without knowing the entirety, all the facts. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't follow what would make you think that it's not going to end up being good, though.
It's like me watching Dead Man Wonderland when I was 11 and me still suggesting it.
But even at the time Dead Man Wonderland came out, like if you do half a second of research, it bombed. You know what I mean? Like Gurren Lagann was so successful and such like a creative inspiration to Mr. Imaishi. He created his own anime studio out of it, just trying to create an entire studio out of the art direction he established in Gurren Lagann. And this is probably one of the most directed anime directors ever, because Studio Trigger is like such a powerhouse in modern anime. Like the past 15 years, some of like the biggest cult classics in anime have come out of Studio Trigger.
But what I was trying to say is that before we recorded our fucking episode on Cowboy Bebop, I was pretty excited about watching Cowboy Bebop and talking to people about how much I loved it. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is not as great. It didn't age well.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. I do remember, I know in my head that Gurren Lagann is cool. I've seen episodes of it, but I never really saw it all together. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. It's just, I don't want you to go into it thinking that, though. Because Gurren Lagann, especially at the time when I originally saw it, it was just so different. it was just such a different realm of thinking and storytelling that I was obsessed right away. Which I'm normally, when I'm obsessed with something like that, you tend not to follow suit, which is like fine because at least we have differing views when we're discussing anime. But I don't. A lot of times we do try to go into context when we're reviewing anime, or we try to look up the time period in which it was produced or under what circumstances. But Gurren Lagann benefits from not knowing any of that almost, because it's just such. It's like, fuck. What does it feels like? It feels like I more want you to understand the inspiration for a bunch of different anime. And when you're going to watch this, and I don't want you to like compare it too much to anything else, because you're going to see bits of NGE in it. You're going to see bits of fucking Lelouch of the Rebellion, and it's a lot more of it. It reminds me so much of what's the one where the guy has a ducktail and he's just flying around space going to the booby bar?
Space Dandy.
Space Dandy. It's like Space Dandy almost. Just like something breezy to watch that's just going to put you in a good headspace. But besides that, me and you finished watching the Snyder Cut last night. I thought it was pretty good. It's just, it could totally be 3 hours, not 4 hours. And the I don't know, the CGI and the animation that's left over from the original looks bad. Like, what's his name? Henry Cavill, the guy that plays Superman. His face still looks super bad. Like, his mouth movements don't make sense, but that's because he had a beard on when they were recording originally. Yeah. So they had the CGI over his face, and now it doesn't even look like sort of normal.
I guess the most I can take away from, like, the Snyder Cut, it's not even about what's coming out next and what's coming... Because, I mean, right now, whatever Warner Brothers has been doing managing their fucking DC universe, it's just, you know... it's not gonna go anywhere because it didn't even start correctly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you gonna take it?
And I think the reshoots were... The scenes that were reshoots were obvious to me. And I was pointing this out to you because a lot of the male characters were ginormous and like super jacked by the time they were doing the original scene shoots. So now you see Ben Affleck or what's his name? The guy that's playing Aquaman.
That one good-looking guy.
What's his name?
Samoan. I don't know. I just know who you're talking about.
I don't remember his name. Or
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason Momoa and the guy that's playing Cyborg. They all look super deflated. Like, it'll be like one scene where they all look like they're 250 pounds and like super jacked and yoked, and the next scene where like everyone's like trying to fake hold themselves so that they seem a little bigger.
I guess the weird thing about it too is that we've never seen something be fixed before. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we did see something very shitty, but we did not need something very mid, very long either.
I just wonder if Warner Brothers really made money back, because they spent like tens of $millions just on the reshoots for the Snyder Cut. Did they really sign enough HBO Max subscriptions to make up for that? And I almost don't think that's possible.
I think, honestly, dude, I think it might have just been like fan service, bro. Because honestly, why bother?
I don't know. I really don't know. And it's just the end of the movie still looks like shit. Just looks like absolute garbage.
I think it looks good. I thought it looked good.
It does, but it doesn't. Like, what scenes was it? Was Superman and... Like, it's just like the last, like, 20 minutes just look super ugly.
Like I said, why bother with the whole Snyder Cut? If I was Snyder, I would at least try to see, like, hey, can I start something new, maybe? Why work on something that it's obviously not going to work? Can I start off, like, a new, maybe, you know, reboot the universe and stuff like that? But no. It was weird. You haven't seen... Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I've seen like the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
That was last night? Yeah,
that just has the new Captain America running around and zipping about. But I've been playing a bunch of the Pokemon trading card game online lately. And I think it's funny. I wanted to bring it up just because I think it's funny that although all these companies keep trying to make their money, nerds keep finding ways to like cheat the system because when I was in high school, I was playing World of Warcraft, right? And the way World of Warcraft was set up, they wanted you to dump all of your time into just grinding coin and experience to like make this character, right? Mm-hmm. But if you had a little bit of money, you could go on like eBay and just buy that coinage, which is why they had those World of Warcraft farms in China that people were dying from, because they were trying to make cheap in-game currency to resell on eBay. And that's what my experience has been with the Pokemon trading card game online too, because so how Pokemon's making their money from people playing online is every pack of Pokemon cards has like a code in it, like a QR code that you can use to get in-game packs and cards or whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to go dump money on a bunch of like packs with all these resellers and stuff going on, because it's just gonna be a waste of money. So my bright idea was I just Googled like buy Pokemon trading card game codes, and you could do it for like 70 cents a fucking code, which is like way easier than me actually going like card hunting at like Target or something. And I think that's just funny that these nerds just keep coming up with scenarios to just like cut the middleman and kind of screw over these companies out of getting money, because that's kind of greedy of Pokemon. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're going to make you buy the same cards twice so that you can play them online and in person. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, because it's people keep doing it, and we're going to keep finding ways to do it, because even Konami doesn't have an official online simulator for Yu-Gi-Oh! So a lot of people are just use these air quotes illegal / third party simulators, and Konami hates that because they're not making money off it. But it's like, you didn't want to spend the time to make a system that people are going to use.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be hard for them because of the rules. Like, I don't know. I just feel like having all the rules that they have in the game.
No, yeah.
I mean, they make them up as they go too sometimes. So.
And Yu-Gi-Oh rules make no sense, and that's the thing about the game. It's just, you need to be a super mega nerd to know that, because Forbidden Droplets first reduces attack and then
negates the effect.
And then negates the effect.
But it's already been reduced.
Yeah, but if an attack stat has already been reduced, and that means it stays like that until the end of the turn, which means it doesn't lose its attack from its effect. So many things, Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's not new user friendly.
The Seymour Mendez, the pug, is upset at all of us for not paying attention to him.
Yeah, I know. And speaking of gritty, I fucking bought a $60 game, Nintendo Switch game with Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy, I believe.
Right.
And I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Sunshine. That shit was awesome. I haven't played Galaxy. I know you told me I would like it. But yeah, that's been my week. I've been busy at work, so...
Yeah, I'm just... Fuck, I don't know. Just playing Pokemon.
Just playing Pokemon every night.
What are you playing, Jay? What was... plug your Twitch.
I haven't played in a while, but I do have a Twitch where I did have an episode where I listened to the whole episode of Between Nerds. I think it's the episode where I won. What did I win again? It was the little candies from the... What is that? The
Grave of the Fireflies?
Yes, which you haven't seen yet, right? You gotta watch that movie. If I'm gonna recommend a fucking movie to somebody, that's gonna be it. It's crazy.
Probably just Akira. I don't know.
Is that your favorite anime movie?
Anime movie? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That's a really tough question. No, it's maybe Howl's Moving Castle, probably.
Huh?
I'm sorry, we're just all distracted by the angry Seymour dog.
Yeah. Studio Ghibli for sure is gonna have the best movie.
Probably. Or I like the most recent My Hero Academia movie, which My Hero Academia season 5 episode 1 came out today. Yeah. And I'm excited to watch that because I don't know. Like, I read the manga, and the manga is literally like 3 years ahead. Like, what we're animating right now is shit I saw in 2018.
Jesus.
So, but whatever. You good, Jay? Do you have any last minute critiques, comments, concerns?
Make sure to download the episode. Keep watching Between Nerds and supporting them.
Subscribe and follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Between Nerds. Send any concerns, rants, anything, comments, anything to the email at betweennerds podcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget to use hashtag anti-trafficking nerds to be entered into our March giveaway. And for every like or retweet on Instagram posts or tweets using hashtag anti-trafficking nerds, we will be giving back to the Paso del Norte Center of Hope. So,
thank you.
Thank you, guys. This has been Between
Nerds.